the Brandy Challenge, the Great Brandy Challenge, #1. Will they be a #2, and so on? I guess so. Oh boy. Well, we're looking today. You see, I've been drinking and thinking on this one. My next door neighbor took a good little amount. He was quite impressed and pleased. This is the Fleur-De-Lis Napoleon V.V.S.O.P French brandy. The venerable Paul Masson Grand Amber VS. They've been doing it since 1852, but I believe this particular item is from 1882. We have E&J XO Extra Old. Not too old, because the original E&J, the VS, is from 1975, and apparently this is their newest one, so it might only be 10, 12. They don't say on the website. It's aged at least 6 years. This is aged at least 2 years. So, and then we have the ever popular Albertson's Brandy. They say a traditional quality since 1939. Well, let's see here. Now I was going to try to figure out the price per liter, but I can't remember the prices on all of these bottles. I think this was $14.99, this was $3.89, this was $5.99, $10.47, I believe, and $12.99. So I'm pretty close. Different grades, and I guess, like I said, this grade would be grocery store grade. But the price wasn't a great difference in price. This is one I haven't cracked open yet. It'll be a little while before that happens. It's Pierre Duchesne Napoleon French Brandy, which would be the V.V.S.O.P, very smooth old pale, or very special old pale, depending on who's talking about it. So, folks, let's get into it. Now the aroma, the appearance is similar. You know, they have that golden look, but the Paul Masson is more amber. This and this, the XO and the Albertsons, they're also amber, but I do believe that the Masson is just a shade more amber. This is distilled by Barton Brands in Louisville, Kentucky. There's also a big facility in Bardstown. They do give tours. Paul Masson is, their grapes come from California. They're located out there. However, their bottling and processing, I know the bottling and whatever other level of processing is done in Bardstown, Kentucky at a Barton facility, and Barton is owned by the Sazerac Company. You may know them: Buffalo Trace, Pappy Van Winkle, Taka Vodka, Crown Rus Vodka, Mr. Boston Brandy, and a whole bunch of other things, like literally hundreds of brands. From the high to the very low. They hit all the points. Ernest and Julio Gallo, Modesto, California. They've been doing wine, grape spirits since 1933. And I don't know much about these guys at all. Okay. Thing you'll notice about the Fleur-De-Lis, it's got a noticeable peppery note. Noticeable note. I have to call a notary. It's there. And so much different. The VS Grand Amber is so much fruitier, and even to some extent a candy-like quality. The XO, this one here, it's really a fascinating item. It's got smokiness, and I did a really detailed video of it. Well, you may not know, because that may be posted after this, but I did it before this. And it's got wood, smoke, moss, peat, almost. Some wintergreen, and then I said you take a deep inhalation. It's like you cut your leg and you go to the general practitioner. He's going to give you 5 or 6 stitches, and it's that antiseptic smell. It smells like no germs will survive. The V.V.S., this was a very pleasant surprise. All of these have beautiful legs on them, alcohol legs. Not as smoky or woodsy, but it has a peppery note and a strong alcohol note. They're all 40 proof. All of them have the same ABV. I guess beer would be ABV. They all have the same alcohol level. Same thing, really. 40%. It does smell, you know, a little more immature. This is aged at least 6 years. This is at 2 years, so you can pick that up. And then the Albertsons, owned by Super Value grocery stores. I am hooked on Band-Aid. Get a little Band-Aid. Some hard candy of possibly peppermint, Brock's peppermint, evergreen tree, even the powdered candies, the hard powdered. So they all have very interesting, even this one, they're very interesting aroma notes. They look nice. Now the most important part, the taste. I'm not trying to tell which is which in a blind taste test. I've done that. I've worn that out. I proved the point that you really can't tell a lot of beers apart in a blind taste test. You'll claim that you can. You do it blind. You get it all screwed up. At least in my case. And especially with light beers. Especially with light beers. It's so distinct. It's definitely a pepper note, but it's a funny thing. It's like black pepper and white pepper in the same sip. Hard to describe. Probably have to get yourself a bit of it and check it out yourself. I was there in Baton Rouge today. They had it for like $14.99. I bought this at Dorgnax in Metairie, Louisiana, near New Orleans, less than 1 mile from New Orleans, by the way, for $12.99. Should be rinsing my mouth. I find there's a lot of residual with brandy, so you'd have to really take an hour between sips to get it out. It's got a grape skin. It's almost as though you crushed it down and you were using the crushed skin and call it the pomace of the grape. But it can't be, because I was reading the government website, and I can give you that link if you want it. Or you could just type in BATF, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and then there's a section, alcoholic beverages. Click it, and it'll take you right there to all the regulations. If it has to say what kind of brandy it is. If it's pomace, it has to clearly say pomace or apple, pear, peach. If they use flavorants, if they use the grain, yeah, there's some really cheap brandies that use grain, like the bottom of the barrel has to say it. If it has caramel color or other flavorings, does not have to say it. Does not, I repeat, does not have to say it. So I was saying that Hartley's from Italy was obviously junk because it tells you natural colors and flavorings. Turns out they don't have to say that, they just do say it. Also from Barton Brands, imported from Italy but owned by the Sazerac Company. Pretty big outfit, like one of the biggest liquor companies in the world. No. Well, the XO is the most elaborate of the 5, I do believe. It is aged at least 6 years, and you're picking up a little pepper, but the emphasis is on little. There's wintergreen, evergreen trees, peat, some smoke, oak barrel, just a lot of things, and I can't necessarily say what they are, but they're there. You notice I haven't mentioned any off flavors or aromas yet. The V.V.S.O.P. This was the surprise of the whole run. Well, that too, but this one, and I have a video, my daughter and I did a close examination of only that. We were shocked, you know, we were like, oh, it's incredibly complex. With a beautiful flavor, you know, you think 2 years, you can get 3 of these bottles for $10 at Albertsons, so you're thinking, it's... And then you drink it and you say, oh, no, I have to retract all these previous thoughts. None of it's true. It's got... Okay, this one you can tell is more mature. This one is more immature, obviously 2 years, 6 years. But it's got some... Boy, I tell you, it's got some real good character. Yeah, probably a little more pepper than this. More mint, more mint. Not more body. Drink all these brandies, start thinking about things, you know, like, wow, think about that before. Anyway, El agua es fini. You know, it's the same with beer. I've been doing the beer thing for going on 6 years, actually longer than that, just on video. And you take a bunch of, and it could be lager, I mean, it could be craft light lagers or macro light lagers, you know, whatever. But they'll have all these little intricacies. In a general sense, light beer is light beer. Okay, I agree with that. But in a specific way, it is not the same. And perhaps that is probably really just labeling and brand loyalty, but it could possibly be that your Coors Light drinker is loyal to it because there's some subtlety that they're getting that maybe I'm not getting, or maybe I could get if I try. I don't know. They're drinking 30-pack a week, so they're picking it up, and I'm not. I don't know. It's a question. It's interesting. Not too much pepper, but there is some. But there's this candy, menthol, vanilla from the barrels, the oak aged vanilla pickup. We thought, you know, and we did a solo on this, so that's coming up whenever. Don't know, can't say, not long. And we thought, oh, it's not bad. We thought at first, it's from Albertsons, it's a private label, it's going to be ghastly. No, no, no. And my daughter was very favorable towards it because living on a graduate student budget, she says, oh yeah, I'm like really into store brand liquor. So she said all the friends she hangs out with, they would be very favorable towards it. And not only exclusively because of the alcohol level, but just because it's not half bad. Probably would work better as a mixer. 90% of the people that buy it are probably doing that with it. However, if you're taking it neat, it works. It does work. Don't work like this one, or this, or this, or this. Okay, so obviously of the 5, it's the lowest. But it ain't that low. And the price is good. And when I've done the beers, I've done the Kirklands Light, you know, which is like comparable to this, your store brand from Costco light beer, and I've compared it to, you know, in my mind at least, to your Milwaukee's Best Light, Coors Light, your Miller Lite, your Bud Light, and it's light years worse. It's objectively bad, really. I mean, I don't think met anybody who really honestly thought it was good. They might have said they could tolerate it. They'd buy it because they hate to spend any sort of money. But Jean-Pierre, if you watch his videos, he said, I mean, you know, come on, man, this stuff is... He's talking about the Kirkland's Light. He said, get out of here with this. But you wouldn't say that with this. I wouldn't say it. Yes. It passes the test. It won't graduate with honors, but it'll be at the graduation. It's not getting a GED. This little number here, I'm telling you now, you can get it for $3.33 for that little 200 milliliter bottle. Hey, this is cum laude with honors. And literally with honors, because if you get on their website, they're showing all the golds. The gold medals it's won in even best in show, in blind taste tests. Not a joke. The XO, well, hey, oh, that aroma. Hello, friend. This guy here, this is one of the kids that ain't paying for college. He's in the top 10. He might be salutatorian. You know what I mean? They're going to have a little profile in the local paper about him. He did well. He did well. He, you know, didn't have a special thing to wear, but he did okay. This is the kid that didn't necessarily make the best grades in school, but everybody remembers him. He was like that special kid, or she was that special girl that had something, like, you knew they were going to be important later in life, right? Like, they had something going for them. Really had something going for them. So, this is dynamite. What's the best? I think the best has to go to XO. Extra O. Now, I got some people that are in my Brandy group, and they're like, where's the V.V.S.O.P from E&J? You know, the blue label. Where is it? Where is it? That's the best one. That's the hidden jewel. I'm like, I got to get to it. I mean, it's too much. But this, so the worst you can say about this lineup is that it's enjoyable. And the best you can say is that you can see why it's won so many awards. It lives up to its touting. It's beautiful. This one's beautiful, really. It's not just a cheap drunk for a cheap drunk, as one commentator said, but, you know, we're going to live in the world of positive projection. You know, we want to project positive energy, not the negative. We don't want to live in the dark side of the force. You know what I mean? To steal a term from a movie. Thank you for watching this challenge. So I think what we've learned is that you can buy any of these 5 and you'll be happy and, you know, at least satisfied. So thanks.